Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. We welcome you to our online teaching academy, Ekalaiva. This video is on A Baker from Goa from Glimpses of India from CBSE 10th English. A Baker from Goa is written by Lucio Rodriguez. Now let's know about the author. Lucio Rodriguez was born in the year 1916 and died in the year 1973. He was one of the few outstanding Konkani essayists. Besides serving as professor of English in colleges in Mumbai and Goa, he was visiting professor of folklore at Indian University in 1969. A touch of humor and formal narration are well-known features of his style. In this lesson, the narrator expresses his childhood memories nostalgically. Here it tells about the Portuguese who are known for making bread and how the bakers play an important role in Goa. Now let's get into the chapter. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. Here the narrator tells about his elders who used to talk nostalgically about the good old Portuguese days and their famous loaves of bread. Here reminiscing nostalgically means thinking fondly of the past. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. He says that the elders who used to eat and enjoyed those loaves of bread would have died, but the descendants of the bread makers are still there. We still have among us the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves. Those age-old time-tested furnaces still exist. He says that we can still see the mixers, the molders, the bakers, and the age-old time-tested furnaces. What is a time-tested furnaces? It means the furnaces uh, which is in good condition even after many years. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. Furnaces means the fireplace where the bread is baked. And the furnaces are still in use. The loaves of bread is being baked in these furnaces. The thud and jingle of the traditional baker's bamboo heralding his arrival in the morning can still be heard in some places. He says that the baker would come with bamboo staff that would make some thud and jingle sound. Thud means a dull sound. Jingle means noise made by small bells. So his arrival would be noticed by these sounds. Heralding means announcing. So these sounds would announce the arrival of these bakers. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. It means the family profession is carried forward generation after generation. These bakers are even today known as Padir in Goa. So these bakers are known as Padir in Goa. During our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion and guide. So the Author or the narrator talks about his childhood days where Baker used to be his friend, companion, and guide. He used to come at least twice a day, once when he set out in the morning on his selling round, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. He says that he would see him twice a day, once in the morning when he set out for selling the bread, and when he returned after selling the bread. The jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all. The loaves were bought by some Paskin or Bastin, the maidservant of the house. What we longed for were those bread bangles which we chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. So the moment these children heard the jingling that, they would wake up from sleep and they would run to meet and greet him. They would run to him not because of bread, because the bread would be bought by any maid servant of their houses. They were very much interested in bread bangles, which would be in the shape of bangle. It was also the special bread with sweet taste. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jang jang sound of his specially made bamboo staff. He would make, whenever he comes, he would just hit the bamboo on the ground and it would make some sound. So that musical sound would come from the small bell in the staff. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. So he would hold the bamboo in one hand and bang the bamboo on the ground, and he would use the other hand to support the basket on the head. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. Whenever he saw the lady of the house, he would greet her with good morning and keep his basket on the vertical bamboo staff so as to enable her to weave inside the basket. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket somehow. So the children who would be waiting for the arrival of the Padir would be rushing to him, but these children would be pushed aside with mild rebuke, and the bread would be delivered to the servants. But children wanted to look into the basket, so they would climb a bench or a parapet and peep into the basket. I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves, loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. He says that the loaves of bread had a typical smell, and the loaves of bread for elders and the bread bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. And why should we? Who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for the toothbrush? And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. So he says the children were so fond of the bread that they won't even bother to brush their teeth before they eat it. So the narrator justifies his action giving an example of the tiger. So he says that the tiger doesn't brush its teeth. So they won't they won't bother to pluck the mango leaf for brushing their teeth. So they eat it without brushing it. Horty could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. Hottie could wash and clean her teeth and mouth nicely. So that was the uh, thought he had when he was a small boy. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl, just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. So if there is a feast or a party, bread is served. Without that, feast or a party won't be fulfilled. Same way, another variety of sweet bread called bowl is very important in marriage feasts. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. Now we understood how important the baker is for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolinos are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. The author tells us that the different varieties of bread are used in different occasions. Like when there is a daughter's marriage, the lady of the house must prepare uh, sandwich for the guests. Same way, for Christmas and other festivals, cakes and bolinos are very important. Thus, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. So, when bread is important in the various occasions, baker is also important in the society to make bread. When the baker is important to make bread, the furnace in the village plays an important role. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants. Here the author describes the dress of the bread seller. Those days they wore a special kind of dress known as kabai. So that would be like a long frock that reaches down to the knees. But when the author was a small boy, he used to see the bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full pants and longer than the half pants. Maybe something like 3/4 pant. Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees invites the comment that he is dressed as a padir. So even today, if anybody wears such 3/4 trousers, he is called as padir. Now you can see in this picture the man wearing a single piece long frock reaching his knees. The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. As the bread was consumed as common food by people, they would buy bread every day or frequently, and the baker would record the monthly accounts on wall in pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. The baker and his family never starved. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. As bread played an important role in all occasions and everyday life, it was a profitable profession. So the baker's family and his servants were prosperous. They never starved. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. Plump physique means pleasantly fat body. Open testimony means public statement about a character or quality. quality. Even today, any person with a jackfruit-like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. Even today, people with jackfruit-like physical appearance are compared to a baker. So they are prosperous, they get enough money, food, and lead comfortable life. Children, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Meet you in the next lesson. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you.